Are you a DoorDash delivery driver? Would you like to be safer and less stressed while driving and earn more at the same time? The Driver's Utility Helper app allows you to do just that. Create custom filters and its automated system does the work for you, automatically declining unwanted low-paying requests and accepting more profitable requests so you can focus on driving.
Good morning. Hey, it's a great morning. Hey, good morning to everybody. Good morning. When you're trying to do everything by yourself, it makes things a little bit more difficult. Okay, so apparently I forgot to unmute everything. That's my number one issue right now. I was supposed to be running this ad. And I forgot to unmute everything. So, my apologies. And I'm a little bit late, yes I know, because I'm trying to do everything by myself. So good morning to everybody. Good morning. The first question of the day is, what are you having for breakfast? Or what did you have for breakfast? That's the main question. We're gonna be discussing, should customers tip Dashers based on delivery mileage from pickup to drop off? Obviously, the intro didn't go as I planned, but we'll continue. And I'm not gonna take too long. This stream is not gonna be that long because I do have a scheduled catering order that I need to go and pick up by 10:30 this morning. And my commute is about 20 minutes, all right? So I'm not gonna take too long to dive into it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, William Vasquez. Good morning, Christine E. Johnson. Good morning, CJ Kanoy. Good morning, Side Hustle 247. Nito 209, Monique Milner, Adam Delivers, Roger C, Diane Warren. Good morning, Donna Roos. Good morning, Jixer or Gixer, FTW. Good morning, Cornelius Dixon. Good morning, Charlie Baltimore and the Driver Sensei, and everybody that's watching on the replay. Okay, I don't want to take too long to dive into this again because I have some stuff I got to do. Okay. So with that said, let's dive into this morning's topic. But first, we got to play our music. All right. Okay. This one right here is very interesting because this is something that I feel like happens more frequently than we think. And especially with like the no tip, no trip thing. It's like I wanted to do this. Enough talking. Let's go here. Food delivered to wrong address and missing beverage. I drive for Walmart and sympathize with Dashers, so I always tip at least $10 no matter how small the order, and I tip more if it's a large order. But I guess that's not enough to get decent service. I messaged the driver and got no response. Wouldn't even own up to their mistake. Fortunately, DoorDash refunded most of the order, except the fees, taxes, and tip, ironically. And I found my food next door, so at least I didn't go hungry. Silver lining, I guess. But here's the part. Someone responds and asks, how far away are you from the restaurant? This person responds and says, within 10 miles or so. And then the last person there says, 20-mile round trip for a $10 tip. Oof. So My question to you, family, was a $10 tip too small? Was it too low? Because this is their response to that person. The app suggested $5. So $10 is double that. And it was a small fast food order. And it's not a 20-mile round trip unless the driver is only doing pickups from one location. And a tip is not based on mileage. DoorDash should be paying based on mileage. I'm tipping based on quality service and the amount I'm ordering. Having my food delivered to the wrong address and missing the beverage is not good service. So what do y'all think, family? What do y'all think? I'm gonna open up the lines right now. I'm gonna open up the lines so you can call in and share how you feel about this specific situation. All right? Should the tip be based on the mileage? This person said they left a $10 tip and they sympathize since they drive for Walmart. They sympathize with Dashers, so they tip a minimum. And if it's a larger order, they're gonna tip more. The Dasher did not even deliver to their location. I guess that's not really the Dasher's fault, because at the same time, the Dasher is going based on what they see in the app, unless they really did make a mistake and not really pay attention to those numbers. So what do you think, family? Loco 1804 says, she should have ordered from a closer restaurant. Good morning, Bird Rios. UDM from Houston, good morning. So we got a call on the line. Let's get this call in. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for calling Breakfast with UDM. Who are we speaking to?
Man, it's Jixer FTW, bro.
It's Jixer FTW. Okay, all right. Talk to me, Jixer FTW. Who do you feel should the customer have to tip based on mileage? Do you feel like it should be mandatory to tip based on how far away you are from the restaurant? Round trip?
I really don't think so, because first of all, a lot of the deliveries are not that very far, at least in my market, which is Los Angeles or Southern California. And if I expect the tip to be based on distance, then the tips are not going to be very high.
Right.
And number two, I've been driving gig apps since the tipping option wasn't even available.
Right.
So
I remember those days.
The fact that I signed up when tipping wasn't even available, that if you're driving and expecting tips, then you're going to be disappointed more often than not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that if you don't focus on the tip, you probably be, a little bit happier. But then again, like I said, I'm in the Los Angeles market. We get great incentives like the Quest and everything like that. So that makes up for the fact that many people don't tip. And you know a little bit more of an insight on my current situation. Right. And I've had to adjust over to Instacart. Right. And I will tell you that even though Instacart takes a lot more work, people tip a lot less on Instacart than they do Uber or any other app, for sure, man. So that's just my opinion on the whole tipping situation.
Oh, wow. So what about the driver delivering it to the wrong address? This person tips well, and they basically tipped on a $17 order, a $10 on a $17 order. So what do you think about the driver delivering it to the wrong address? I tell people all the time, they should double and triple check, but at the same time, the app malfunctions. So we don't know from the driver's perspective what they went through, but a nice tip like that, what would you do in that case?
I mean, honestly, $10 is a good tip.
It is.
I personally think so. And, that it's happened. So like I said, I've been driving, for like since 2016 or so, and I've had maybe, I would say maybe 2 mistakes, and similar to that. But
Okay.
a lot of them I've actually caught, so I can see how you can actually deliver to the wrong address. Sometimes the app is glitching or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would definitely I would be very grateful for that $10 tip. I would not have felt like the customer was being cheap at all.
Right.
I would just, how much did they, what was the delivery like? You said they made 17 on the delivery.
All right. So for those that's just rolling in, I'm just gonna read the situation again. Okay. It says food delivered to wrong address and missing beverage. I drive for Walmart and sympathize with Dashers, so I always tip at least $10 no matter how small the order, and I tip more if it's a large order. But I guess that's not enough to get decent service. I messaged the driver and got no response, wouldn't even own up to their mistake. Fortunately, DoorDash refunded most of the order, except the fees, taxes, and tip, ironically. Oh, and I found my food next door, so at least I didn't go hungry.
Yeah, I would have at least responded, especially knowing there was a $10 tip, for sure.
But with DoorDash being what it is, total may be higher. We don't see it's an actual $10 tip. That person might have seen $6.50, $7, right? And didn't know it was going to change into however much later. $12 or however much.
Yeah.
We don't know. So who deserves the brat here, bro? DoorDash? The customer? Does the customer have a legitimate reason to complain? Or the Dasher for not even responding when the customer reached out? Who deserves the brat here?
Oh, man. Honestly, I'm a driver, man. This is what I do full time, and bro, I'm gonna have to go with the customer on this one, man. Honestly,
You gotta go with the customer.
side. Yeah.
But the customer tipped a minimum of $10. They got shafted on the end, man. It's like they got the bad end of the stick. They tipped $10. They live within 10 miles. Now the good question is, hey, round trip, within 10 miles doesn't necessarily mean 10 miles, but round trip, that $10 tip ain't looking too healthy.
You know what though? But see, like I said, in my market, for example, I've been in situations like this where it's literally I need one more trip in order to get that $300 or $400 quest.
Uh-huh.
So I would do that. In my mind, even if I'm still 20 trips away, that trip with the $10 tip is one more trip closer to getting that $400 and $500 incentive. So that's just the way I look at it. And,
Gotcha.
And believe me, I've taken a lot of $2 and $3 orders, but at the end, it helps me get through to my quest a lot quicker than normal,
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate it for you calling in, man. If you wish to call in, 754-399-3941. Jixer, FTW. We will have a conversation this Friday with Jixer. There's a situation that he would like to express on live, okay? He's going to tell y'all his story. All right, but anything else, Jixer, before I open the lines back up?
No, that is it, man. I appreciate your time, bro, and you have a blessed day, as well as everybody out there grinding, man.
All right, have a good one, and be safe on that commute, bro.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so with that said, I want y'all to look at this part right here. All right, let's get this number off of the screen while we're waiting for another call. I'm gonna read the chat. All right, the app suggested $5. Y'all see that? The app suggested $5, so $10 is double that, and it was a small fast food order. And it's not a 20-mile round trip unless the driver is only doing pickups from one location. And a tip is not based on mileage. DoorDash should be paying based on mileage. I'm tipping based on quality service and the amount I'm ordering. Having my food delivered to the wrong address and missing the beverage is not good service. We have a caller right here. We're going to answer this call. Thank you for calling Breakfast with UDM. Who are we speaking to?
UDM, Greg Weissman.
Greg Wiseman. Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
All right.
Hey, just 2 cents here. The customer should have called the driver, not text the driver. Because with the new texting system that's in the app, you never know you have a message.
Oh, so there's no... Oh, I forgot all about that. Okay, so you have a point here. Okay.
Yes, I mean, DoorDash is the brat of the day.
DoorDash is the brat of the day.
Yep.
That's a good one, bro. That is definitely a good one. I didn't even remember there's that new messaging system. Okay. So now that we know that the messaging system, there's no notification unless the Dasher decides to check for it. Is it the Dasher's fault that they did not get that message? And Greg Wiseman, thank you for that,
right,
bro.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So DoorDash deserves the brat of the day from Greg. Okay. So we got one customer, one DoorDash. Anybody for the Dasher? For the missing beverage?
Oh, wow.
What about that part, Greg? What about that part? The missing beverage.
The driver should have made sure the order, especially the beverage, is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Greg. Anything else you want to say to the family? Hello?
What was that?
Anything else you want to say to the family before I open the lines back up?
No, we're all good here.
All right. No problem. You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye. Okay. Now, going into the topic of just, like, say, no tip, no trip, right? No tip, no trip. I will be honest and I will say that I have always had a slight bit of an issue with the lingo. No tip, no trip. Why? No tip, no trip. You're choosing based on what you see. So if it's no tip, no trip, sometimes you won't even know there wasn't a tip until after the fact. So are you driving based on what you're paid up front or what the customer tips? And that's why this conversation came up as well. $10 tip. Do customers really think about how far away they are from the restaurant? I don't think so. I'm just saying, as a customer, I never thought about how many miles it is from that Pizza Hut to where I live. I never thought about how far it is. I only tipped what I felt was a certain amount that I feel like that driver deserves, not necessarily how far it is. But I do know if I live in Fort Lauderdale and I'm ordering from Miami, I'll be like, boy, that's a long drive, boy. I know that's a long drive, but I'm not thinking about mileage. You know, like we drivers, we think about mileage, right? But the customers, I doubt they think about mileage. They just say, hey, I want my food and I'm going to tip this amount of money because they're driving or they're doing me a favor. So, in my opinion, all three have their bratish ways, to be honest with you. For me, all three have their bratish ways. It's not the driver's fault if they delivered at the wrong address because we don't know that situation. The app, sometimes it provides the wrong information. But it's their fault for not getting that beverage. Okay? The customer, I don't know. You got a trip to get that tip. You got a trip to get that tip. We have a call on the line. Let's answer this call. Let's see what they have to say. Good morning.
Hey.
Thank you for calling. Hello?
Good morning. This is Gig Lady.
Gig Lady, Miss Gig Lady. Let's talk to me. I know you're going to keep it 100 with me. Who deserves the brat here?
Exactly. My thing is no tip, no trip. Is basically because you can see if it's a tip on the order. But sometimes you get played, but this is why it's so important to item count.
Okay.
This is why it's so important to know your restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you got an order that's got 3 filet mignons, you know that's on DoorDash, that's between $75 and $80.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
If you don't trip,
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
If you don't tip me and on the way to driving to your house, say it's 6 miles, and I get 2 flat tires.
Okay.
So I just lost all the way. How am I going to get your food to you?
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say tip, no trip.
All right.
I get paid by my tires spinning. I don't get paid to just sit there.
Okay, so I'm looking at it like this, right? All right. So if an offer comes in at $16, right? I don't know how much of that is a tip. I don't know how much of that is a tip. But if I see a $3, a $2, or something like that, I'll be like, nah, I'm not taking that. But if I see $16, would you not take it if you found out that the customer was like, say, 3 miles away and they did not tip? All that money came from the app. I just want to know.
You know, I'm a little gangster, so I may take your food back to the restaurant if there's no tip on it.
So you would skip out on the $16 if you found out later that the customer did not tip?
I take it back.
You would take it back?
Because we get paid for DoorDash pay, but tips work better. You know what I'm saying? And then I give you good service. And if you tip me, your food's going to come faster, depending on the restaurant. But the thing is this, here in Michigan, okay, say they did an order for $16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that could be the full payout, depending on the item that the order, depending on the items and how long the order been sitting at the restaurant.
Okay.
They've been showing the full payout.
Right.
And depending on the miles. So the miles play a part a lot. And people don't understand it. You see $16. What people see, they see dollar signs and jump on it. Oh, it's $16. Let me hurry up. No. Look at your items. Your items play a major part.
But
people don't understand it. They see dollar signs.
But I still got to come back to that main question I asked you. I understand no tip, no trip, right? And in this Brat of the Day story, the customer tipped $10, but they weren't paying attention to the mileage, right? They didn't assume it was going to be a round trip pay or whatever, right? They didn't assume. Another dasher commented and say, how many miles? So that customer says within 10 miles. So the dasher then says round trip 20 miles, $10 for 20 miles. Nah, oof, right? Okay,
right.
So that customer tipped, right? But the miles was too far. That dasher delivered it. But what I'm saying is when it comes down to no tip, no trip, if you see a $20 order and you find out the customer did not tip on a $20 order, you would take it back to the restaurant? Or you would keep the $20?
My husband said, hold on. My husband said he wouldn't. But, come on. You don't want to take nobody's food to the restaurant. You're already at the house.
But I'm saying you're going to miss out on the $20 because they didn't tip?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But UDM, you know the type of money that I made.
Yeah, I know.
And the other day I had to take a chance because it was that slow. I took a order from, I think it was called Sales or something.
Okay.
I took it to Franklin.
Okay.
Franklin is 15 minutes from the area that I dashed in.
Okay.
And they offered me $20.50.
Okay.
So sometimes we have to take chances, even though we don't like taking chances.
Mm-hmm.
But the order was bigger than the $20 that they offered me.
See, that is different.
I mean, it's a
different.
sacrifice.
For everyone
Yeah,
that don't
sacrifice.
know, just so we can understand Ms. Gig Lady's perspective, right? Ms. Gig Lady is a DoorDash driver. Okay, so she gets a lot of large orders. So imagine she gets a large order, and then she has to drive a certain distance and whatnot, and she gets no tip. You understand? I understand it from her perspective, but let's look at the normal DoorDash orders really quick, Ms. Gig Lady, because I got to start wrapping it up, okay? So the normal DoorDash orders, not the drive. I know you get them large things, you know what I'm saying? You be getting what? I know, I got you. But I'm saying the normal ones, the ones that don't have a lot of items. Let's say, let me give you an order real quick. Let's say McDonald's, right?
Don't do McDonald's.
Okay.
Remember, you taught me that.
Okay, all right. I got to find another restaurant. Outback Steakhouse. Okay, Outback Steakhouse.
Okay, Outback.
All right, 750 going 1.5 miles. Would you take it?
Yes, because that's the overs here in Michigan.
Okay, all right. So you're taking the 750 going 1.5 miles. You get to the customer's house, then they said, leave it at the door. You leave it at the door, then you swipe and it says 0 tip.
Oh, Lord.
What would you do? What would you do in that situation? Because of no tip, no trip. I want to understand the lingo. I want to understand the reasoning behind it. Go ahead. 750, you at the door.
Sometimes with the jobs we do, sometimes we take an L.
Okay,
And
so
the
that's an
thing
L.
is, you constantly thinking on your way to this customer house, like, I hope that this customer tips. And sometimes they may not tip, but sometimes you just got to know when to take the L. See, what I always do, I remember the name, and I remember the address where I'm going. So now I know not to deal with you no more.
Okay, that's a 750.
But sometimes you got some of the customers that always tip big when they get a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They get small stuff. You don't even care because you know they're a good tipper. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes people don't have the money all the time. So you sometimes you gotta take an L. Okay,
all right. Well, I thank you for calling in, Ms. Gig Lady. I thank you for sharing your perspective as well. All right, and I hope your baby feels better. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's doing better.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. You have a good
great
one.
Morning.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right. So the reason why I wanted to also bring up that no tip, no trip also is because, like I said, there's a lot of dashers out here that feel a lot of these customers should tip based on mileage, but a lot of customers don't think like that. They just think like, oh, it's down the street. Oh, I could drive there and pick it up myself, but I don't have time to. So can you deliver it to me? And thanks for doing me this favor, so let me tip you this. And then if the app suggested $5, but the customer tips $10 and then they receive bad service. Whoo. So the no tip, no trip thing, imagine if that payout was $12, right? $12 or however much the dasher would see. And if that customer did not tip at all, would you take that $12? Would you take that $17? However much the dasher saw. I think Adam Delivers said something that a lot of people were agreeing with, and I want to make sure that I read it. I read it out loud because we all have different opinions about how we do things. But at the same time, I want you to think about this. If you're one of those drivers that says no tip, no trip, I'm thinking that you mean low ball I'm trying to make it rhyme. I'll come up with something. Those lowball offers, those $2 offers, $3 offers, you're like, I'm not, no, not happening. I get that, right? No tip, no trip, though. I'm just trying to understand it. Like, I need somebody to really break it down for me. Miss Gig Lady tried, but she didn't change my mind. Okay? I appreciate her very much, but she didn't change my mind. If the offer has been sitting and they're offering you more money, you won't know how much that tip is going to be until after the fact. So if it's no tip, no trip, or no tip, sometimes no trip. I'm just saying. All right. Adam Delivers says all orders should be accepted on face value. If it's $6.50 for 3 miles and you accept it, you should accept it for $6.50 and be happy even if there's no hidden tip. A $3 order needs to be declined. $2 order needs to be declined. And I get that part, right? So that's how I work. I used to say something like, I don't work for tips, I work for my money. Now, the reason why I say that is because what I see is what I accept. What I see is what I calculate into my earnings. If there's more on the back end, awesome. But what I see is what I accept. So don't be missing out on orders that, or I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I'm just saying. Don't be missing out on orders, okay? And I'm getting the phone call because it's time for me to go. All right, family. So with that said, y'all be safe on the road. Please be safe on the road. I have to now go. All right. It's now 10:09, approaching 10:10. I was supposed to end about 5 minutes ago, but I got to go. I got a large order I got to do, and it's a catering order. So see y'all in a bit. Y'all be safe on the road. I love y'all, but I got to get my money. All right. So with that said, it's about that time for us to do what we do best. Oh, yeah. It's time to get our money, right? It's time to, what? Go get your money.